It is great to be with you. What a great event, your first annual policy summit. So important for Florida as we continue to see such rapid growth. I think in the last year we added 2% to our population in 1 year. And we are seeing folks come from all over the nation, which is adding to this growth. But I know that those of you in this room are feeling it. And one of the proudest stats, I think, is the 37.9 million visitors that we had just this past quarter. So it's the largest volume of tourists ever in a single quarter, which astounds me to this day. Coming from growing up in Plant City, Florida, where we had one McDonald's, we now have two, thank you, because we are booming just like the rest of Florida. This is unprecedented for our state. And there is no sign of it stopping or slowing down. And what do we do so well in Florida, and why is a conference like this so important? I can tell you the three things that I focus on as Attorney General are the things I think most state leaders or community leaders like yourself need to be cognizant of. Number one, what are the pressures facing the protection of our citizens and the stability of our communities and cities? What are we seeing those challenges to be around the nation, and how do we proactively prevent that from happening here? We've done a pretty good job of that. If you look at Chicago, New York, Portland, San Francisco, a lot of the things that you are seeing that are really leading to the demise or the devolution of those cities, we have prevented against here, but it's not by accident. So you may have remembered about 2 years ago, we started pitching a new initiative to make it easier to go after these large organizations that were, pillaging our large retail stores with organized retail theft. There has never been a higher rate of organized retail theft in our nation's history than right now. There are many reasons for that. It didn't happen overnight. People didn't just wake up and be part of these organizations and start stealing billions of dollars. But you started having policy changes that stopped going after folks for theft, that made it harder for criminal prosecutors and law enforcement to identify these rings. There are reasons for that. So in Florida, we sought that out. We decided what happened. Not only did we tweak our policy, we built up a database that now we have a better shot at identifying where those next targets are going to be. People are now copying the Florida way. So oftentimes we're protecting against trends we're seeing both externally outside the state and internally in some of our own jurisdictions. We're also fiercely protecting the autonomy of Florida so that our great legislative leaders can do that. They can enact policy that's best for Florida, that they have the autonomy to do that we're not forfeiting or sacrificing our leadership and policy making to Washington. A great example of this is the most recent victory we had here in Florida, pushing back against the Biden administration on their ever-expanding definition of waters of the United States, which has been a continuous problem and would have affected not just businesses. I know this is something that the small business communities are championing, our agriculture communities, our farming communities are championing this victory, but this trickles down into a basic tenet of land rights, property rights, even for a landowner. What you have the right to do with the property that you work so hard to invest in and buy, and why does Washington now get to come in and tell us what you can do with your property? This was a major win. I'm hoping it was such a big defeat that this will go away. But as you are seeing, Congress so stymied in its inability to affect policy that works, and distinguish that from what we've been able to achieve here in Florida, policy that works. The federal agencies are taking that deadlock, gridlock on anything that's really having a substantive effect, and they're running rampant. And they're controlling you, me, our businesses, our land, everything that you can think of through regulation.